Hey there, welcome to Entrepreneur Tech Podcast with Nsuku Lawrence Sithole. Here we talk about entrepreneurship, success, the mindset of an entrepreneur, and ultimately being happy in your journey as an entrepreneur. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Entrepreneur Tech Podcast. This is the very first episode. Thank you guys for taking the time out to listen to this. I'm excited to see the journey, how this journey is going to go itself. I'm very curious of finding other ways to communicate with people better, to share ideas with people and have them share their ideas with me, because I believe that if we are to speak of growth is something that happens in a community way. We grow one another by sharing the different kinds of ideas that we have, by sharing the different kinds of skills and knowledge that we do have. So I am very excited to see how this will pan out. So yeah, I feel like without wasting any more time, welcome guys for this podcast. And our topic today, we will be focusing on toxic approval. Why then do I need to focus on something of this sort? I thought to myself, since this is the very first podcast that we're doing, why not go with a topic that is easy to relate to for each and every individual, even if you are not so much into business, but you are just looking for something on the side of personal development. You would like to develop your life here or there, or just improve the quality of your life through the way you think or how you conduct yourself. So I thought to myself that why don't I just do something that talks about a topic that is general. But of course, there is something that I want us to understand about toxic approval that I feel helps us to relate better and do better in business, because I've come to learn that in as much as we would like to really go away or not focus on issues that have to do with our personal development and personal behavior, when you actually break down business, you get to understand that it's made us of humans. And if you are a startup entrepreneur, then you're probably the business. So if your behavior, your outlook on life is that which really is of quality or helps you to be much more successful, then you are going to be exactly that, going to be successful. Your business will be able to progress depending on whether or not your thinking is progressive, whether your thinking allows you to progress or whether your thinking allows you to be stagnant, or wherever place you are in life or wherever place your business is at this particular moment in time. So I'm focusing today on toxic approval. Now, here's something that I've learned. As people, we seem to really go after the approval of people who have previously rejected us, and we actually get to base our worth on the opinions of these very people. I feel like it's a very funny narrative when you look at it, that we as people, we seem to really seek after the approval of those people that have really made it clear that they don't approve of us, or they made it clear that they don't approve of what we're doing. But the very same people that we think we need approval from, and we even base our worth on these people and their opinions more than the opinions of the people that have already accepted us and whatever it is that we are doing. And I feel like this is quite an interesting place to be at that we really need to move from. When you come to think of it, I think of it this way. Have you ever seen how you can have many people in a day? Maybe let's say you're dressed well. You can have many people that are commenting how good you look. They're actually praising you. They're saying that you look nice, the suit is nice, or the dress is nice, the shoes are nice, or whatsoever. Then maybe you have all these people, about 50 of them. Then you meet one person who tells you that your dress is horrible. What were you thinking of by wearing that particular dress? Or you meet somebody, just one person, who tells you that your suit is horrible. What were you thinking when you wore that dress? And here's what I've actually learned. When we meet that particular individual, our whole mood changes and how we feel about ourselves changes dramatically. And we conclude that whatever it is that we are wearing, it's not something that is great because of that one person who has told us that what we are wearing is horrible. We are not supposed to be wearing that. And we tend to forget that we had 50 people who told us that we actually do look great and what we are wearing does suit us. But we meet only one person and then we conclude, and then it changes our whole mood and everything. Just one individual saying one bad thing to us. And I feel like this correlates with how we tend to seek approval from people that have really made it clear that they're not interested in what we're doing, or they don't approve of us. But these are the very same people that we go to great length trying to impress. We go to great length trying to get them to approve of us. And I feel like that's a very toxic place to be at, because if you look at it, most of the time when that happens, we actually fail to entertain and to care much about the people that are there who have accepted us, the people who are really there to support us, and the people who are really there cheering us on. And then we focus on these people that are not there to push us forward but to drag us backwards. And I feel like that's a very, really interesting place to be at, because really, if we have 50 people who are approving of us and accepting us, don't they deserve our attention? Don't we need to be putting much more effort in building our relationships with these people more than the people who say that they do not accept of us and whatever it is that we're doing? And think of it very well. Think of it very well. When was the last time that somebody said something bad about you? When was the last time that somebody came up to you and said something that is not complimentary but is criticism? You are much more likely to hold on to that more than the praises that people gave you, because of this very narrative of seeking toxic approval. We are seeking approval from people that have made it very clear that they are not so approving of what we are doing, that we forget to take care or to focus much more on the people who have really already approved whatever it is that we are doing. And now somebody can come up to me and say, why is it so important that we move from focusing on these people that don't improve our lives or approve of what we do? And I feel it's so important because as an individual, it's impossible that you'll relate to everybody. Here is a saying that I adopted for myself to say, there are people that I like, there are certain people that I don't like. It's not like I hate them, but I just don't like what they're doing. I don't feel like it resonates with me. And that's how I've always looked at life, that there are some people who will not like me, not because they hate me or whatsoever. They just don't like me. I don't resonate with them. And I feel like if we look at life like that, then we tend to care less about people that don't approve of us, because we understand that we just don't resonate with them. And as a result, we're just supposed to put them aside and focus on the people whom we resonate with, focus on the people that are really there, and then they're saying, we approve of you, we love you, and we love whatever it is that you are doing. And now, how does this then really relate to business? Here is how I think it relates to business. As an entrepreneur, I've come to understand that many of us in the chase of getting what we call a big corporate company, most of the time when we start out, we have so many small businesses that come up to us, or individuals who come up to us from their respective small organizations, and then we get to work with them. And in as much as we have these people and they're working with us and they are happy, we are always looking for this big fish. That's usually the corporate companies that are already big and established. We are looking for these companies. And sometimes we pursue these companies and then they disapprove of us. They really show that they are not interested in whatever it is that we have to offer. That we find ourselves in a big chase of following or trying to catch this big fish of corporates. And what this happens, when this happens most of the time, when we are chasing this big fish of corporates, we actually often overlook the fact that we have got these small businesses that have been doing business with us for so long that we need to also cater for, that we need to pay attention to. And what we don't understand is, most of the time, as we are looking for these big corporates, we actually overlook these small companies. And before you know it, these small companies have to now really think of going elsewhere to find the best service, because if they're not getting that from you as an entrepreneur, or getting that from your business because you are still busy trying to catch this big fish that is not approving of you and is constantly rejecting you, you then lose revenue, and then you lose relationships. And before you know it, you are back to square one. You need to really work your way out, fix up these relationships and everything. Whereas if really you had focused on these businesses, these smaller businesses that you have, and focus also on other small businesses that when you approach, they approve of whatever it is that you are doing, and then they say, we want to do business with you. you will be able to scale up your company, you will be able to grow your business. If maybe you are looking for much more revenue by getting money of these small businesses to work with, your revenue also goes up. So I've actually learned that in the chase of these big corporates, we actually often overlook our loyal and trusted clients, people that we have been working for so long, because now we are chasing these big corporates. And you know what the funny thing is? Simply because you are chasing these big corporates does not necessarily mean that you'll actually catch them. Sometimes you will be engaged in this chase only to be rejected over and over again. And by the time you realize that really these people are not interested in what you are doing, you have also lost your very small loyal clients, but clients which were able to put cash flow into your business. So now I'm thinking of this as an entrepreneur. I'm like, we really should not be after toxic approval. We should really care much more about the people in our cycle that appreciate us. We should really care more about those people that are giving us their time of day. Because really, if somebody or a company is not really giving you the time of day, you really need to measure how much you should be giving them your time of day, because time is the most precious resource. Why should you invest in a place wherein you are not valued? You should never, there is this saying that you should never go or stay where you are tolerated, but you should go where you are celebrated. So instead of going where you are tolerated, why don't you just go to places where you are celebrated? And you know what that does for you? You are much happier because of that. You are much happier because of that. If you are really focusing on places and going to places where you are celebrated, then you really become a person who is happy, because that brings about fulfillment, and it brings about relationships that are mutual and much more beneficial to you. So also, in talking of in terms of seeking approval from people as an individual, come to think of it, if you were to focus much more on those people that have already accepted you and give you their time of day, what do you think will happen to you? You will have much more beneficial relationships that are mutual, because this has got to be an issue of reciprocity. If you keep on giving and then you won't get back, it becomes an issue of parasiting. So I am thinking about this thing to myself, and I'm saying we really need to stop. It's advisable that we stop chasing much more on relationships that are not beneficial and seeking the approval of people that have made it very clear that they do not want us in their spaces. That we begin to focus on those people that say, we want you to come into our spaces. And then you grow with these people and go the places where you need to go. And simply because you meet one person that disapproves of you, it does not mean that everybody else disapproves of you. Let me tell you something that I've learned here's something that I've learned in business. In as much as you can go to one company and then they repel what you are doing and then they kick you out and they tell you that they're not interested in whatever it is that you are offering, in that very same moment that you express that, you are much more likely to think that what I'm doing is useless because I've just been rejected by this particular brand that I wanted approval from, or this particular company that I thought that was really going to be beneficial for me in terms of finance and brand awareness or whatnot. You really are likely to think at that pace in time to think, I really thought that these people were going to help me go forward, and then simply because they have disapproved of me, you have to now start to doubt yourself as an entrepreneur. But most of the time, in that time of doubt, if you were to go out and go look for other businesses to work with, you are much more likely to find other businesses. But you are much more likely to keep that thought in mind that there is this business that disapproved of what you do. That you now begin to, when you really enter into times of hardships, you think of them and what they said to you when they disapproved of you, more than thinking of people that really approved of you, or the businesses that wanted to forge a relationship with you and how they thought what you are doing is actually amazing. So instead of focusing much more on these people that are disapproving us, we should hold on to the thoughts of the people that have really approved of us or have wanted to say, come into our space and let's forge a relationship together. So without taking much more of your time, guys, this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. This is something that I wanted to discuss with you guys. And I feel like that's very important for us to understand as individuals and as people who are in business. Thank you guys for taking the time out to listen to this podcast. My name is Nsuku Lawrence Sithole, and until next time, may you have a good day.